out the way, man. Don't you see you giving me what I need to wake up?
Right.
And by the time your higher self get done whooping your ego self pillar to post, I bet you have a purified ego, and your shadow work would have made it a little bit easier.
Self-realization. Self-realization.
I said, what is the correlation between the next election, Project 2025, and Supreme Court stating that administrative courts are non-constitutional? It's the fall of America.
Yeah, I did a
It's
whole video about Project
yeah.
2025.
Yeah, but the real Project 2025 is Mardi Gras coast to coast. Because we won, they lost. Now they butthurt. It's too bad. Just don't come to the family dinner with that BS because we just needed an excuse to cut your throat anyway for what you did to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we ain't asking for permission. We don't need no excuses to exercise our sovereign right to do what's right. That's it. And everything has been recovered. The next election, I don't think is going to take place. Okay, when the last time y'all seen Joe Biden? The last time I seen him, he went from 6'2" to 6'8", and then he disappeared again.
Yeah.
Kamala about to drop out, right?
Why you think she dropped? Why is that?
Because she got too much Haktua in her blood. It's symbolism. First,
right.
She wanna because Biden they're gonna have to announce that he dead or that they stepped down or something, and then she's gonna have to assume his responsibilities.
Right.
Which is gonna interrupt her campaign capabilities. She's gonna have to say, I got to perform the functions of the presidency until November. I'm gonna be able to do both campaign and cover this base. Because too much stuff will fall through the cracks, which is true. You can't pull double duty like that. Now, I don't know if they're gonna split her clones into teams and run two this way and two that way, right, and try to cover both bases like that. But I don't see another election happening. It just doesn't seem prevalent.
So
it's like,
so do you think what type of event do you think is gonna transpire before that?
It looked like it's gonna be soft disclosure, because if they was gonna give it to us in shock and awe, they would have dropped it already. So in the soft disclosure, they'll start showing you certain signs, and then they'll start tying them together, and then it'll come down to a public announcement by a person that's playing the role of the figurehead.
Mm-hmm.
He had to alert you to the fact that the military in charge. We've been in continuity of government since 2019. The government transition is final. We've drained the swamp. The cabal has failed, and the Earthborn has once again prevailed. Some old presidential speech writer gonna put their slant on it and try to sound eloquent.
Mm-hmm.
All of those celebrities that they have and come out performing, right? They dragging them out, right? So what that means is they force them to do something that they don't want to do or lose their career, and they're using them to garner the attention of a certain demographic of viewer. Mm-hmm. They're not worried about the old people no more, because they said they're gonna die soon anyway. Mm-hmm. They ain't worried about the babies because they said they ain't old enough to pay attention to what's going on yet. So they got to trap them between 16 and probably 34. Mm-hmm. If they can keep their man distracted with BS that long, they can influence them follow their narrative. It's just Pied Piper trick. Play the
Mm.
flute, watch them dance,
Yep.
entertain them, right? But just because they use it against us, believe me, some of them celebrities that don't want to be there, they gonna be flipping signs out into the public that's gonna let us know what's going on behind them. And some of us gonna think that they taking sides with those people when they telling it in the open what them people doing using the symbols of the industry,
Hmm. And they
right?
being controlled. They being controlled because they're under the act of parliament. So if y'all do music or whatever, or if you in the movies and stuff like that, when you sign on those contracts, cross out actor and artist and put creator. That'll give
Yeah,
you full.
you know the DNC been trying to hire content creators to promote Camel Toe Harris.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know that tell you right there who they trying to um, lure in to follow their scheme. Remember this: when you do a voters' rights registration, you sign the contract. You certifying that you're going to represent the interests of the person that you claim party you represent, or the vote that you cast, right? So you choosing sides. That means that you taking part in the fraud. Therefore, you a party to the fraud, and this is how they're gonna shut them down on reparation.
Hmm.
You've been a party to the fraud the whole time. Even when we tried to let y'all go free, y'all fought to stay enslaved. Y'all marched to be enslaved.
Hmm.
You fought for this to remain oppressed instead of accept your own and be yourself, right? Thus, the Antichrist is Judeo Christian mythology. It's
Hmm.
not founded in anything outside a church doctrine of control, right? So when they tell you the Antichrist, they telling you that it's somebody that's going to be either before Christ, which means anti as in predate, or against, which is anti. But if they telling you they against Christ, he's probably going to be the one that's really supporting the Christ.
Exactly. So essentially the your so-called antichrist would be the actual savior to so-called blacks.
Or the one to take all of the heat so that the
Mm-hmm.
Christ can move about unobstructed.
Mm-hmm. And even when you look at it from a surface level standpoint, I always had this perspective because I always thought maybe a woman would be the so-called, not the antichrist, but the Messianic figure to
She
bring
is.
about,
It's the Black Madonna.
yeah, to bring about
Black-
that.
It's the Black Madonna. Well, what that mean is we call her Big Mama. The Black Madonna seat is the sacerdotal seat,
Okay.
and she's carrying the baby, right?
And
The baby,
he's the
that's
heir.
the son. She's a widow, and that's her son, and that's why it ain't no father, and that's why they took the mother out of the Trinity.
Mm, mm. This person
We go
said,
so all of the banks gonna have to fall under the banking jurisdiction of Big Mama Bank. Big Mama gonna have to appoint a banking committee that's gonna disseminate resources to all parts of the land globally. In every area, people who know how to set up family banks and family banking committees will also have a chance to be trained by the Small Business Administration in setting up the family bank and how to run the family bank and make it sustainable. So it's supposed to sustain itself,
mm-hmm,
right? And so there's certain things that the families will have to do in order to access their family's wealth. And one of the first things in the top of the list, Big Mama said they're gonna first have to be able to get a loan. or I just hold it up until they figure it out. So the ones who got family members that you ain't gonna never get along with, and your remedy is to join with the side of the family you do get along with, and that's why you automatically separated.
Mm-hmm.
You probably haven't even met the other side of your family. Is probably half of the reason you don't get along with the current family. Because now you don't know how to balance the other half of who you are with this half of who you are. And it makes you become resistant to anything that they're doing. But the real estate market, when the when they finish calling in the mortgages for the mortgage fraud,
Mm-hmm.
everybody who own property right now gonna be locked in right now. That's your property,
Mm.
right? The anybody that because all mortgages is founded on a fraud.
Mm.
The mortgage ever since 1933 two, um,
Was it
your signature was the promissory note of the sovereign for them to access the Federal Reserve to pay the bill. They never told us. So what they did is they use our signature to create something called a charging instrument. And then they went to the Federal Reserve and withdrew up to 90% more than what you took out for your house as the caretaker of the estate that you just drew up. By
Mm.
them not telling you, that's called a withholding fraud. They
Mm-hmm.
withheld a critical piece of information from you that would have allowed you to understand your rights better. Your signature paid for the property.
So you said,
Now they want you to pay them back for buying the property on your behalf with your signature and your money. So now you fighting to pay a mortgage back that's predicated up on the fraud of concealment,
mm.
the withholding of critical pieces of information in the contract that would have made you approach the contract from a different view. And the crazy part is most real estate agents have no freaking clue. But the bankers know.
Mm-hmm. So they basically paying for the shit twice.
Well, if you really look at it, they probably paying for it because they can take like if you check out I get $100,000 house, they can get up to $1 million on that $100,000.
Mm.
And then for if you refi, they get another promissory note and do the same thing from the original promissory note's value. So if you only owe $20,000 on your $100,000 house, you're running the problem. So you're going to take out a $20,000 mortgage to pay it off. Then they still taking out a mortgage on a $100,000 property. The value of the property going to remain the value of the property until it go up. Don't go down, right? Because we trapped in the inflation system. And the inflation tells them how much currency that they can withdraw from the Federal Reserve System on behalf of this charging instrument that they drew up in order to finance this property or purchase it on your behalf. Because it's a fraud, the tribal rules will look at each case individual by individual to make sure that the person who purchased the property was not also fraudulent, right? But if everything is on the up and up, like some of these married couples been in these houses for 50 years, now they want to take them from them.
Yep.
No, not gonna happen. That's gonna be the difference in the real estate market, and the real estate agents is gonna be paid different because they're gonna be getting paid a flat rate to perform a different function, and it won't be as many as it is now. So um, real estate, um, the real estate industry is about to change drastically.
Mm. This person says so.
So if
Look,
that when the grid is going down, the grid don't have to all go down at once. They can do it in flashes. They
mm-hmm,
call it rolling blackouts, right? Or they can just jam the internet and let the TVs play,
mm-hmm.
right? Or they can jam the TVs and the internet, but let the radios play. All of this is with the technology that we have. That's child's play. A kid can do it from his computer if you allow him to figure out how to write the code, right? So now the grid going down is really when the baton changed hands from the old system to the new system.
So that's
You
your
gotta
that's
have Yeah, you gotta have what's called a notification, a mass notification. And then anything that the people need to be informed of, like why is y'all running this whole political psyop stage show, theatrical performance in front of our face like we don't see it
right.
and make it so obvious, right? It's blood in, blood out,
Mm.
right?
So that's basically like that's what you get your. I just did a transmission on that a couple days ago, and I was basically talking about how the processional circle operates on a cosmic clock that's
Yeah,
connected to their debt clock system, which is also connected to the doomsday clock. When they talk
mm.
about the 90 seconds to midnight, yeah, I was applying
Well,
that to the grid system.
remember, we in cycles. When you go back and read the Emerald Tablets, it say we are in cycles within cycles.
Facts.
You use each one of those clocks on the collective in order to put them into a different cycle that they will never see play out in front of them because it's going to happen at the speed of life,
Mm,
right? You have to be able to intuitively experience life as well as experience life experientially in order to marry the two so that you can see the game in real time. It's like realizing you in the game with goggles on. Like you could feel the body of the player in the game when he gets shot and everything,
right.
but you got the goggles on. You can also move him out of the way of the shooter.
Right.
From when you realize that you're wearing the goggles, oh shit, I forgot I can control this. And you're activating your God form.
I'm gonna get one more question in because we already at we on here about 3-4 hours, but we it's a good conversation. Uh, says what is, recommend black magic is done by the family member closest to them. How should we handle it? So basically, how should we deal with black magic?
A lot of people, you know what? A lot of people didn't try that on me, but your spiritual defenses is activated upon the awareness, and you're supposed to automatically, if you're spiritually intelligent, you will automatically adjust spiritually by changing your physical surroundings so you don't have to interact with that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that comes with the feng shui. It comes with the burning of the candles and the scents to change the frequencies so that all that shit pass over you.
Mm-hmm.
I stay protected. I done had so many big mamas put protection on me. I don't know. I can't even name them all. Some of them might even know their name. And they didn't try. When I was a baby, my mama traveled from church to church getting big mamas to put protections on me, and they didn't all use the same language.
Mm. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Especially during
Some
this
of them
time
spoke
period.
in native tongue, the
Oh.
old Ojibwe languages and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's
Some
what
of them spoke in Creole. Some of them spoke in Pig Latin. I remember all that stuff.
dang. I said he was tapped in. But yeah, in order, in the future, man, in order to deviate from that, You got to get away from family members who try to supplicate your emotions to where it's basically transmuted into a weakness. So you really just got to use your emotions, just like Rod Hayes said, as a navigation system to level up, protect your own energy.
Normally, you normally know it's an outside influence when your emotion is out of context.
Mm-hmm.
When it's out of context, that means that you got to shift your perception because you're looking from somebody else's angle, not your own.
Facts.
You got to make sure the emotion is in context, right? Like some people laugh at trauma. A traumatic event happened, and that's the funniest shit in the world to them,
Mm.
right? And some people see the sunset and can't stop crying. The psychology is determining the norm for the individual first. When you understand you have a norm, now you look for what makes the emotion shift. And then you say, okay, was I warranted to be angry because the man behind the counter gave me 39 cents and I should have got 40 cents back?
Mm-hmm.
Was the level that I was ready to take it to equal to the value of the penny that I could have just asked for? You see, so the context of the emotion. A lot of guys been with a chick, and chick been with a guy, and their communication is predicated up on out of context emotions.
Mm-hmm. This person said, "How do
I
you talk?"
can.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
No, I was about to go to the next
You
question.
blinked out.
Hmm. I was about to go to the next question. I didn't know if you was finished already, but you can go ahead and continue what you was about to say.
So when I say Big Mama, I had a physical Big Mama on Earth, and I call Prime Creator Big Mama. Prime Creator, you talk to telepathically. Everybody have access to Prime Creator. The women have double access because not only do they access through the interior gyrus like the men on the right hemisphere, they also have what they call direct womb to womb contact through the portal called the womb. So the woman can clasp her hands together, get into a meditative state, put her hands over her uterus, and ask Big Mama anything she wants. But normally she gonna give you the answer in the form of a child.
Mm.
If it's a major thing that you need to change, if it's something minor, she'll just answer it. She'll put somebody in your way with a confirmation for you to know that you're getting the answer that you asked for. That's
Mm.
for the minor stuff. For something major, like if the world need to be changed in a certain way, yeah, she gonna give you a child that's natural born rebel.
Mm-hmm. And
Just don't go along with nothing in the system.
and that child's gonna be the one that's gonna break all those generational curses too. That's how it always
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Yep.
That's the chosen ones, you know what I'm saying, coming back to revitalize this whole infrastructure. But you know, it was a good collaboration. And for those who still in the chat, hit up, Rod Hayes' Cash App at the SikApe, money sign SIK capital APE, SikApe. Hit his Cash App up. You know what I'm saying? He's been dropping, a lot of information. We've been talking about Babylonian blood magic, Babylonian rituals within the factions of the government, and how it, connects to everything on a metaphysical level. So if you haven't, you just now came in the chat, go ahead and rewatch the video. And I appreciate you guys for tapping in tonight, and I appreciate you, Ron, for tapping in when we're gonna do another one, man. Because next time I'm gonna have a lot more, receipts that are basically applies to the publications, whatever we're gonna tap into next. So
So,
yeah.
yeah. So we can get some shots out to Drea Talk.
Oh
Sister
yeah,
Drea
yeah. What happened?
bugging us in.
Where's she at?
We got lost in communication. We
Okay,
were we wasn't communicating between the three of us well enough.
because I did. I tagged her in the post, and I was waiting for her to, you know.
Yeah, there was unclear communication, but I was talking to her when you called me.
Okay, you should have
You
just told her
know,
to come on the live.
well, she couldn't come without being notified sooner because she got family from out of town.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
You know, so she hosts Drea right now.
okay. So yeah, we need that triangle offense again. 'Cause we the last I think it was like a year and a half ago when we did our first one, right?
Yeah.
'Cause we did it on her channel twice, and they removed the video. Yep,
Oh yeah, we was going in back then.
yep.
That was
But
the heat up.
I
But
swear.
I'm gonna let her know. So when she get her channel back up, she can have us back on over there. We can
Okay,
drop some more receipts on something over there.
okay, sounds good to me. But yeah, I appreciate you for coming on the channel. You know what I'm saying? You
Oh
did.
man, I can't wait to come on here and chop it up with you, man. That I be just to show the support,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, because like I'm looking, I want people to know all the. It's just not one person doing the work. It's a
right,
lot of us.
right.
Right? And then certain ones just work be so thorough, it just hit me in the heart space. I'd be like, I definitely gotta,
Hmm.
show some love and come show some support and that people see this watching me. Look, dude, nice. So yeah.
That's that's coming from a lot. That's a lot coming from you, man. Because like I said, I've been watching you since like during the time when you first got out. Like I've been following you on. I think you was dropping them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why I started that.
yeah,
Then
you.
they put me in Facebook jail
Mm,
indefinitely. I was
yeah,
like, what the fuck is that? Is that even a sentence? So then I was about to say, fuck that. I go over to IG. Then I started doing them over there.
hmm.
And
You ain't never tried to get your own YouTube.
I got a YouTube, but I don't use it because I do everything off my phone.
Oh yeah, I forgot you don't care about none of this stuff anyway.
Man,
Like
I hate social media so bad. If it
right.
wasn't for the need that I had to get this information out in the public domain and keep
Mm.
putting these people on notice at periodic steps for certain stuff, you would have never seen me because I would have never been on social media. I hate this shit with a passion.
I know you do, because
But
like, a lot of
it was
times,
more it was more important to serve the collective than to just go on and live my life. I had everything I wanted. I was straight. Didn't need nothing else,
hmm.
But I had to get it, shed it all in order to turn into the butterfly when I come out this cocoon.
Hmm.
You know,
And that's
and
that's
talking about some miserable shit.
that's one of the main things that lets me know that this like we really like in a knee deep into the end of the simulation, because like it's just so many synchronicities that basically applies to everything that we was talking about. Like, and man, you really just cannot make none of this up. Like we got this receipts on top of receipts on top of receipts, and like you said, none of this is by accident. None of it.
No, it's all by divine design.
Facts. But yeah, we
I
definitely
just got
go ahead.
I just developed the skill to learn how to read it
Mm,
from all of the different sciences that handwriting analysis, psychological profiling, criminal profiling, crime scene investigation, and the list goes on and on. And I'm studying because I'm trying to study the people that studying me.
facts.
I
Yeah.
want to know. It took me into COINTELPRO, took me into studying the history of the CIA, the FBI, the KGB, the Bolshevik revolutions, took me into all of that stuff because I need to know what's going on because something don't look right on the land that I'm from.
Facts. Yeah. So what do you think like what's gonna happen? What you think is next?
Um, I think the fiscal year It's going to be the end of the charade. I think by the time the new fiscal year come up, Big Mama Bank should be ready to come online. That's your digital currencies, your Nasara, Jasara,
Yeah,
the SESQE Trust, all that stuff will be opened up, but you're gonna have to know how to access it, and there will be we will have to go around teaching classes on how to access your financial wealth, how to because you're gonna have to have a family bank to funnel it to have control of your own money. We don't want central banks controlling our money no more.
mm-hmm.
Every family have a right to control their own wealth. We exercise every inalienable right on the book and in the ethers. That means that even if they forgot about that inalienable right, we exercise in that too.
Facts. Yep, because it because they do have to turn it into a technocrat system. Because I know that's the end goal. I know that as far as like the Project 2025 manifesto. Some people said it's like it's all it was fake and Donald Trump he didn't create it and stuff like that. But
You
I know
breaking
that
up a little bit there.
okay, I'm gonna come. But can you hear me now? Am I
Yeah,
good
it's
now?
clearing up.
Okay, but I know that
Yep.
the Project 2025 manifesto like that's like in alignment with totalitarianism. I mean, it basically eradicates the whole perception of the far left and what they propagate through liberalism. But at the end goal, but it's really the same thing. It's the same shit. Actually, it's like they both have the same end goal, but it basically gets rid of the hedonistic activity that's coming from the left.
Well, you gotta
That's
remember, it was there was two sets of plans being worked.